All right, all right. How everybody doing out there today? All right, so let's go ahead on and get the spirit in here so we can get ready to get our show started, all right? Here we go. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down, I say glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down. You see, I got a new walk and I got a new talk. Since I laid my burdens down. You see, I got a new walk and I got a new talk. Since I laid my burdens down. And now I am going to be with Jesus. Since I laid my burdens down. You see, I am going to be with sweet, sweet Jesus. Since I laid my burdens down. Woo! Let's get this show started. Let's get it on the road. How's everybody doing today? All right. Papa G just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me, because everybody's time is precious. All right. And so today we're here having our community conversation. And what is the conversation about? This conversation is about exposing the bully. And who's the bully? The bully is child support. And how is child support a bully? Child support is a bully because child support is trying to perpetuate a system in the United States of America, a family that's against the father's wishes. Okay? A family is a man, a woman, and the offspring they bring. A family is a male, a female, and the offspring they generate. A family is a husband, a wife, and the children they have. A family is not two men and some children, two women and some children, one woman and some children, one man and some children. Okay? If it's one man or one woman and the children, that's called a single parent household. Okay? It is so vital for young boys in their very beginning years, 1 month on, to have that initial relationship with their biological father. All medical facts, all psychological facts, all studies from environmental behavioral groups all point to the same thing, that the same way you would not expect the men to raise the boys is the same way you should not expect the ladies to raise the girls. To raise the boys. You should not expect the ladies to raise the boys. Okay? Because we understand that would mess with the young lady's virtue. And that's the same way we understand that messes with the young man's psyche and causes him all type of problems, because that initial relationship that he's supposed to have has been severed. Okay? And so what we need to do is we need to remove, okay, child custody from the court system. Okay? And we need to put it back in the house of the Lord where it belongs. Okay? Because the father is supposed to have the home. Supposed to have the children, and the child support, the attorney general, the state, local, federal government, the dirty judges, the family court, all of these people, the Department of Education, your minister at your church, they all are in possession of the facts that the father is supposed to have the children and bear the burden of raising the children. Why? So that we can have good, sound communities, good, round, well-rounded people. Okay, people without all of this mental health problems that all of the medical research and everything says that with the father being absent, you deal with mental health problems. You deal with the criminal justice system. You deal with dysfunctional people. All right. And if all of the knowledge is saying it, the creator is saying it, then why do we have a system that's going against both the creator's facts and all of the learned knowledge on earth? Why are we doing that? Who benefits from that? Who wants it to be that way? Okay? And when you look at the systems that's benefiting from it, when you look at who is getting it on their have prisons on their retirement plan and stuff like that, when you understand the fullness of the situation, then you'll join forces. This is our rally cry. This is our civil rights issue of our time, restoring fathers' rights. Okay? It's time to reverse the way child support is done in America. First of all, we want to eliminate the money out of the situation altogether. Okay? And we want 50-50 custody, but at the same token, we want it understood that the male children are to go with the father for the good of society. And you cannot, you have no fact on your side to keep perpetuating this system that we have where you're victimizing fathers and giving the children to the mothers, knowing that the mothers are ill-equipped to be men and teach these boys how to be men. Okay? And as a result of that, we're turning out young men who are a threat to society and a threat to them very selves. All because they don't have no identity of oneself. And if I'm lying, then let me spread my wings and start flying. And you don't see no wings popping out. All right? You know, marriage. I must define marriage before I go on. I have to do these things every show. Okay? Because it is a sticking point of mine. Okay? Marriage is only between a man and a woman. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay? It has no other definition. All right? Short and sweet. Just like that. Everything else is nonsense. Okay? That's why we need traditional marriage removed from the criminal justice system, from the crooked courts, from them dirty ass judges, from the, just from that whole system, and put back where it was originally ordained, okay, in the Holy House, where the rules and the regulations and the guidelines have already been set. Okay? It needs no tampering from man. There is only two gender, male and female. Okay? There is no other gender. Okay? Males are here to provide and protect. That is their role. No such thing as we want to erase the gender roles. Okay? Ladies are going to educate the babies. They're going to keep the house. They're going to keep the morality of the family. And a host of other things that they do. I've never been a lady, so I can't call them all. You dig? Now, that's my little rant. I had to do it. Today's show is going to be fatherlessness. All right? How it is destroying American society. All right? I'm talking about how fatherlessness is destroying American society today. And we cannot point to no other thing in that we're doing to say this is the reason why our young people are running wild and running amok. Because if the school system was failing the children, but the fathers had control of their children, was instilling pride and discipline in the things that it takes, the children still wouldn't be running wild. Because the thing that is instrumental for the children to be good in society is to be raised by the father. Okay? That's an undisputable fact. I like to say indisputable, so I'm going to stick with my word. That is an indisputable fact. You understand? Now, we need to get rid of child support in the United States of America, and we need to get rid of the Attorney General with the ability to deal with child support, and any entity, family court, and all of it, because they are intentionally creating poverty in America. All right? That is one of the main effects of what they are doing. They are, by having a boy grow up without his father, they are almost guaranteeing him a life of poverty, okay, not going to college, and a host of other things, not being able to commit in a relationship. Now, I said that was the end of my rant, so I'm going to go ahead on and I'm going to let it be right there, okay? And I'm going to read to you from AmericanFirstPolicy.com. That's the website, okay? The article is titled Fatherlessness and Its Effect on American Society, okay? And it's dated February 15th, 2022, all right? And it starts out by, and it's by Jack Brewer. He's the chair, the center for Opportunity Now, okay? At the America First Policy Institute, we are motivated by a simple truth. American greatness relies on the strength of American families. A genuinely American first vision understands that families are at the very core of society. Stable families form stable communities, and stable communities create a stable nation. Hallelujah. I haven't read this article before when I've been saying this so many broadcasts in a row. But the reason that this article is repeating what I've said so many broadcasts before is because all of the knowledge and the research and everything says the children belong with their father. The article starts out, with upper cups, roundhouse, bolo right off top. This is a big time fight because they get right into it. You know what I'm saying? Let me repeat what he said in the end there, all right? So it can really sting. He said, a genuinely America First vision understands that families are at the very core of society. Stable families form stable communities, and stable communities create a stable nation. Lines say child support, the attorney general, family court, the judge, the governor, dirt ass Louisiana, state, federal, local government. All these people don't know this. I'm just so smart that this is breaking news, right? Don't believe the, you know what. So anyway, Americans are united in the belief that strong families are a net positive for society. For example, according to a Rasmussen poll of 1,200 registered voters conducted on January 20 through the 21st, 2022, 84% of those polled believe a strong family is foundational to a strong America and that parents should bear the primary responsibility for raising children. Only 11% say raising children is a community responsibility. Of those polled, 67% believe that the decline of the family is harmful to American growth and prosperity. And 65% think that children who grow up fatherless are at a significant disadvantage in life. There is no body of learned people who have come together and done research over any period of time and is putting up an honest assessment that is contradicting this widely known fact, these widely known facts. Okay, we've known on another show, I read to you stuff from 1957. We know that child support enforcement, the way we know it today, started in 1975. We understand that in 1950, when it was first adopted, that the federal government looked at child support as money that they was reimbursing the states with. But then when you get the coloreds and those into it, is when it morphed into the predatory program that it is and has grown to be, where, you can take the father's driver's license, but you don't take the mother's driver's license, but you do everything for the mother. You do everything for her. That's how come she don't have no provision for the child. You don't look to her for money for food for the child. You don't look to her for money for daycare for the child. You don't look to her for money for clothes for the child or any of those things because you giving her all of that. And you saying that that's from you. So that's how we know the baby really yours. You see what I'm saying? You do everything for the baby. You do everything. All right? And so it's always like you got her back. And then when it come down time to me, it's like you mad at me or something. But you ain't mad at her. So she could get unlimited resources from you. But when it come to me, you ain't got a nickel. You can't squat and pee. I mean, ladies, I need you to recognize that division that they trying to sow between us. Because they want our babies. Look how hard they working to get our babies. They trying to trick you so bad. They want to give you everything that you would need so you don't feel the poverty that you're supposed to be living in. They're going to give you money for food so your stomach don't never touch your back. So you don't never get motivated to get up and go do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep the roof over your head so when it's hot outside, you don't know it. And when it's cold outside, you don't know it. Okay? They doing this because they want the children. And they can't call me a lie because the penitentiary numbers back me up. The graveyard numbers back me up. And when you look at what the majority of these people, 90-something% of these people got in common, they all got single parent households. And who is the single parent? The mother. And how long have we been doing this? Long enough that we can realistically say, hey, please, let's try something else. Let's do something different. Okay? Let's start giving these boys to their father and see what kind of outcome we get. Let's make this the law. Because we know what we've been doing for a long time. It ain't worked. It ain't worked. Come on, y'all. Somebody out there help me. What's the definition of when you do something the same way over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different outcome? What they call that? I'm just asking. You know what I'm saying? So now, unfortunately, decades of political mismanagement, no matter how well the initial intentions, have exacerbated the problem. AFPI believes that believes that we must judge all policies by results rather than intentions. There is nothing compassionate about leaving entire communities mired in vicious cycles of poverty perpetuated by outdated and counterproductive government programs. And we, Lord have mercy, we know this is true. I mean, they don't want to get blatant like me and say they doing this to y'all intentionally. And as long as you keep taking food money from them, and as long as you keep taking housing from them, and as long as you keep partnering with them against the Father, they're going to continue to do this to you. They don't care. That man say outdated and counterproductive government programs. That's what they said. Okay? But I digress. The effects of broken families have been staggering across America. There are approximately 18.3 million children who live without a father in the home, comprising about 1 in 4 U.S. children. Father absence statistics. The United States has the highest rate of children living in single-parent households of any nation in the world. Kramer, 2021. We've heard his name before. Okay? About 80% of single-parent homes are led by single mothers. That's a single mother statistic for 2021. 80% of the single-parent households are led by single mothers. So who's turning out all these deadbeat dads? Who's filling up all these penitentiaries? Who's turning out all these no good ends, like y'all like to say? Huh? Who's responsible for these men that can't take care of a family? Who is the one letting them still be at home playing the video game and they almost 30 years old and ain't got no job, you understand me? And know that they got kids by 2-3 different women and got them living in your house for free. Who doing that? Oh, my doggone nerves. Don't you say nothing. You understand me? Now, at a rate of 23% of children living with one parent and no other adults, the United States stands over 3 times the world average of 7% of children raised by one parent. For reference, the number stands at 3% for China and 4% for India. Kramer, 2021. China had to pass a one-child policy because they were so overpopulated. You understand me? But now here's a country that's overpopulated, but the fathers are in possession or helping raise the children. They don't have the fatherlessness problem that we're. India, they got more people than the world have blades of grass almost. And in India, we outnumber India with people that's dealing with fatherlessness. Okay? The Attorney General, Child Support, Family Court, the Governor, the whole state of Louisiana, the local, federal government, them dirty ass judges, everybody know. Your minister at your church, they know. None of this stuff is secret. That's why you got me, Papa G, who like to go out there and read all this stuff, you understand me, and then come back and be like, hey, they lying. They trying to trick us. They smart, and they play the long game. They do. Okay? And we have to wise up and say no more of this foolishness. Okay? Of all births in the U.S. today, about 41% of children are born to unwed mothers. For women under the age of 30, the demographic that bears 2/3 of children in general. The out of wedlock rate increases to 53%. And that's from Coulombe 2015, Coulombe. I'm sorry if I mutilated your name. While many unmarried women cohabitate with a partner at the time of giving birth, these relationships fail at twice the rate of marriages. Data suggests that more kids are likely growing up with a television in their bedroom than with both biological parents in the home. Coulombe again, 2015. We have to understand something. Child support, the Attorney General, Family Court would rather your child have more hours on the video game or watching television than with the father. They allow the father in their provision less time, who ain't done the child nothing, than they know is allocated for television and video games. They are not on our side. They want us to fail. They want dependent people to make more dependent people. If you meet a lady and you can't feed yourself because you living with your mama and she getting government aid and all that kind of stuff, y'all got so much other stuff y'all can be talking about, or you can have protected sex. She can get on the pill, you can get the condom. That way y'all got double the thing going on to make sure you don't make no baby until you can independently take care of yourself. You should not be trying to bring a life into this world and you cannot feed, house, and clothe yourself. You should have enough respect for yourself to want to be able to take care of your baby by yourself. Hallelujah. So anyway, children from fatherless homes fare far worse in metric overall well-being and mental and behavioral health. These children are often burdened with lower self-esteem than other children, and they do not understand why their father abandoned them. This is from Brown. This leads to a number of emotional problems like anxiety, social withdrawal, and depression, and it also leads to an increased risk of suicide and other forms of self-harm. That's from Brown. Okay? We've heard that. I've read that before. This is not new news. This is just like how many studies are out there that Papa G can actually go and pull up from all of these heavily credentialed groups and these heavily credentialed people, these well-respected bodies of work that says child support is intentionally trying to destroy the American family, that America is at total war against the institution of marriage, against the covenant of marriage. And they declared war in 2015 on the covenant of marriage, and now they're just in all-out assault, and not just in marriage, but they trying to kill all of the tentacles of marriage: gender identity, gender roles, the father from the home, making the mother the head of the home. Everything that they're doing is trying to destroy the society that we have and make sure that we keep racing to the bottom. We know that our cities are unsafe. You know, we know why our cities are unsafe. And when are we going to stand up as men to the men that are doing this and set this right? Because we cannot blame the ladies for this. We cannot blame the ladies for this, because it's men who want to have 2 or 3 kids by this woman and then leave her with the kids and go and have 2 kids by this woman. You understand me? And leave her and then end up with this woman with 1 kid by somebody else, or 1 more kid he'd have made with her. It's men doing this. It's men doing this. And it could be men who pass the rule and say, we can't do this. That when you make some children, they have to be with you. Okay? So do understand, this ain't no mistake. You understand? So let's get on into it some more. Overall, children from single-parent families are twice as likely to suffer from mental health problems as those living with married parents. That's from Batty, 2006. Research suggests that high-risk children in single-parent homes have nearly 5 times greater chance of developing mood disorder than those in dual-parent households, even when controlling for household income, age, and depression status of parents. And that's from Teal, 2016. This research suggests that fatherlessness is a significant contributor to mental health issues in children. This is widely known all across the United States of America, even in the hillbilly hills. The medical facts are still going to say the same thing. In light of these statistics, it is no surprise that 90% of all homeless and runaway children, and this is research and statistics now, 63% of teen suicides, and 85% of children and teens with behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. And that is from Martinez, 2011. Similarly, fatherless families are 25% more likely to raise children in poverty. U.S. Census Bureau, 2020. Children without fathers are also 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances, and 71% of all children who abuse substances come from fatherless homes. 71%. And that's from the National Center for Fathering. Excuse me. Excuse me. Give me a little second here. Thank you for that. Conversely, at-risk youth, defined as a child who is less likely to transition successfully into adulthood with a mentor in their lives, are 46% less likely to use drugs and 81% more likely to participate in sports or other forms of extracurricular activities. No longer fatherless. Listen, it is what it is. These are studies. This is research done by people who done got paid prime time bucks. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just going to continue to read. Unsurprisingly, those without a father in the home fare far worse in educational achievement than their 2-parent counterparts. Fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of high school than children with both parents at home. That's also from the U.S. Census Bureau, baby, 2021. You understand? So you can't say these are no outdated facts. The only thing that's outdated is the fact that child support is still trying this mess when all knowledge says don't do that. Give them children to their pappy. So let's just keep on going. The fatherless are also 40% more likely to repeat a class and 70% more likely to drop out of school. And that's from IDID. I can't say your name. Likewise, at-risk youth who have a mentor at 55% are 55% more likely to enroll in college than those without a mentor in their lives. Fatherlessness also has a link to abortion rates. Perhaps counterintuitively, data shows that upon legalization of abortion, the fatherlessness rate in a country rises dramatically. For example, within years after abortion was legalized in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, the percentage of children living with a single mother doubled. In the same vein, 1 out of every 3 pregnancies in a fatherless home end in abortion. Beckwith, 2019. Fatherlessness likewise has a direct link to teen pregnancy and sexual activity. Schwarzwalder. Roughly 70% of teenage pregnancies come from women raised in fatherless homes, and these same women have significantly higher abortion rates than women raised by both father and mother. Child support knows this. Family court knows this. The attorney general, the state, federal, local government, the minister at your church. Men, this is not no secret. This is common knowledge. You know, that we as a society choose to do the wrong thing with the children and then try to pretend like we don't understand why our societies are falling apart, why our cities are unsafe, why our communities are unsafe. And we know why. So I just want to stop the lying and let's just accept responsibility for what we're doing. Okay? You know, you see these women on TV showing up proud, pregnant, and don't have no father for the child. And Hollywood and television is celebrating this. You see how they trying to race us down into the mud deep as they can, huh? You better wake up. So I read on. Criminal activity and fatherlessness are closely related as well. Of all the youths in state-operated institutions, roughly 70% come from fatherless homes. And 85% of all youths in prison come from the fatherless homes. That comes from the Rochester Area Fatherhood Network. Now listen, that what I just read is so true, because I remember as a young man, once I really got aggravated and I had run away from home, you know, my senior year, I was a terror. I had to repeat my senior year because, I mean, I was so angry. I was having pistol play every day. You know, I thank the Lord for covering me and keeping me and bringing me this far, taking me on, joining the military and going on and, you know, keeping his hand on me. Thank you, Father, because, you know, young men, once they click and they lose their cool and they've been abandoned and done wrong by, man, you don't want to face that. You don't want to face that. On the whole, fatherless kids are 20 times more likely to be incarcerated and 11 times more likely to exhibit violent behavior than children from two-parent households. That's from Voice for the Voiceless. Another unfortunate reality is that America's prisons are full of fathers separated from their children. Of America's roughly 2 million prisoners, over 800,000 are parents, and 92% of those are fathers. This leads to a total of over 1.7 million children with a parent in prison, or 2.3% of the total U.S. resident population below the age of 18. And that's from fatherhood.gov. In 2016, the average age of a minor child with parents in federal prison was 10 years old and 9 years old for minors with a parent in state prison. And that's from the Department of Justice, 2021. The unfortunate reality is that single parenthood does not only affect the health and well-being of the children, it affects the single parents as well. Both lone fathers and lone mothers have high rates of mood disorders and substance use disorders than married parents. And single mothers fare about twice as poorly as single fathers in this regard. Both lone fathers and lone mothers are at far greater risk of psychiatric disorder than married couples. And that's from Wade, 2011. Now listen, there ain't nothing that I could go on and as a matter of fact, I don't have that much more, so I'm gonna give it all to you. You understand me? Of course, there is no one-size-fits-all solution to the fatherlessness crisis in America today. However, through targeted legislative priorities, progress can be made in revising the disincentive currently endemic throughout national policy. For example, officials can promote healthy marriage and responsible fatherhood through legislation. New regulations on marriage tax bracket can help stabilize lower income families by financially incentivizing two-parent households. And we can address the education gaps in the country with real solutions like school choice. Officials can support an all-out pro-fatherhood messaging campaign to amplify the importance of fatherhood across the nation. Amplification from athletes, celebrities, musicians, actors, and even political leaders can push the importance of fatherhood to the forefront of public consciousness. In this way, fatherhood and its importance can become a unifying issue for all swaths of the country. I have been banging and beating and screaming this. And I ain't never read this. And I've been telling y'all, we got to make this a nationwide conversation. We got to make this a conversation that's going on in every city, every town, every state. Make this, we got to get a petition going in every state in the United States of America. You understand? Wanting fathers' rights established, okay? And uniformly, we are saying that when it's a male child involved and the couple separate, we want the father to get the male child. And we want review boards in the event that a male child is not given with his father. That case is instantly sent for review because you can't trust them old dirty ass judges. You can't trust them old dirty ass, none of them. I ain't even want to get, hot. But, you're just going to blatantly put the truth right there like it ain't going to bother nobody. Americans believe that it is the community's responsibility, more so than the government, to take care of fatherless children. Local churches and faith-based organizations can be of assistance in the entire fatherhood space. Churches are well situated to lead in this space, as they have the personnel and mentorship potential to guide fathers to their highest potential, provide community-based resources, and mentor those without fathers. In the same manner, mentorship programs, police athletic leagues, civil service and engagement opportunities, and family resource programs can help equip fathers and families to form stable families. To address this crisis, we must first speak openly about the problem of fatherless children. Then we must focus on fixing it by promoting strong families, confronting cultural melees, and sharing the joys of fatherhood. It is a tall task, but a worthwhile one. And I agree. If you want to walk down the street and feel safe in your communities because you see some boys and you don't want to have to worry about them, then give them to their father. If you give them to their father, when you get to that corner, they're going to say, "Good evening, ma'am. How you doing, Miss So-and-so? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am." And everything is going to be copacetic. Okay? So, this has been another hot show. And as usual, I'm coming at you with nothing but the facts. My Cash App is $Gil Muse. If you listen this long, I really do appreciate it. And until YouTube monetize my page, I appreciate it. If anybody want to, bless me, thank you, please. I appreciate you so much. And as usual, this has been Papa G saying, I love you and I love everybody. Peace.